Hey everybody, hi. Surprise. This is Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. I know I haven't been here with you for quite a while. I want to say at least since maybe July, maybe August. I think I got a video out in August. I have things piled up that I've been wanting to show you. Like we went to Dollar Tree. By the way, I'm AJ from AJ's Personal Touch. Welcome in to anybody who new who may see this. And welcome back to my subscribers. And hopefully welcome back to some of you who may not have been watching me for a little bit. I haven't even gone to look at statistics or anything. I know I've lost some of you since I haven't been on as much. It's been a rough year. It's been a very rough year. Um, I'm going to tell you about everything. Lots of times, well, I try to leave my health stuff and all of that till the end, do the crochet stuff at the beginning. But so much has happened this year, I really need to tell you guys about it. So, I've been sick for over 3/4 of the year. Finally, a little better, but I'm still not 100%. Um, but I have sinus issues going on, and we have to work at getting the inflammation down, and then hopefully things will turn around. So I haven't really been sick to where I get other people sick, but yeah, my doctors are still telling me I need to stay and rest a lot, and everything. So, on top of that, my mom, she's been in and out of rehab for the last couple of years. Um, Again, this year, it was all looking the same. She'd go home, she'd be okay for a while. She was starting to digress a little bit more until things turned very quickly on us. Truly thought she'd go home. She ended up with water on the lungs 3 times. I want to say within a month's time, maybe a month and a half. And she's had, I always forget the name of it now, congestive heart failure, congestive heart disease, which led into congestive heart failure, which is what the main issue is. Basically, um, so she always had some heart around the lungs, and then or her heart, because that's what congestive heart disease is. And then when they were taking the water out, the first time they took it out, they thought it was pneumonia. They were pretty sure it was pneumonia. It's turned out more than likely it's had more to do with the congestive heart failure, even though they did cardiograms and things, and the test came out fine. My mom has had heart issues most of her life, and she'd go in and have the tests, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's fine," until they found congestive heart disease. Um, but anyway, this made me know you can live with that for quite a while. But with everything else going on and the different meds that she was on, she was put on a special wound care med, which was extremely expensive, but it made her muscles weak, and so she couldn't get out of bed on her own anymore. And then she just, I want to say part of her stopped trying, but then she might stop trying for a little bit, but then she would be like back in the game, and you know, so yeah. But she just took a turn for the worse, ended up back in the hospital. They took water off again. She went back to rehab. They sent her back to the hospital a couple days later, and they took off a ton of water again. They did the sip test when you drink something, eat something, and the water was just going straight down into her lungs. So, and then she was put on hospice. She'd been on a feeding tube. It was the fact that she was starting to choke and having a hard time eating. And yeah, she went to a hospice house. She went there later Thursday night, and she passed this last Sunday. We were all there. It was at 11:23 in the morning. So this is my first birthday today. I'm filming this Christmas Eve on my birthday. It's my first birthday without her, which is hard, but it's the family's first Christmas without her. It's the beginning of our firsts, and it still doesn't feel completely real. So we're having a celebration of life for her in January. We wanted to wait until the holidays were over, and instead of having 2 hours in a funeral home to see everybody, like quickly see everybody, we're having a dinner and a celebration of life so we can have more time with her. That's what's going on. I have posted an obituary on my regular Facebook page. I've posted it in the AJ's Personal Touch group for any of you who are a part of that. If you want to know any particulars, and if anybody would feel like you would want to donate, which you do not have to, we ask for donations to hospice in lieu of flowers. But, everything is always well appreciated and needed towards expenses too. So I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying because everybody seems to ask. So otherwise, I wouldn't say a word. And that's it. I'm not going to talk about any of that anymore because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Anyway, I want to show you the things I got made for the girls for Christmas. Some of you may know that. Well, I'm pretty sure I came on here and I've talked since Sophie was born. She was born in August 10th. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I was on here, like I said, in August. Because I'm pretty sure I talked about Sophie. In case I didn't, Lila's um, sibling was born. It was a girl, and her name is Sophie. Sophie Lynn. Uh, so I got started on Christmas for the two. I'd been working on Sophie's blanket, which I am not finished with. You guys have seen, I believe I've shown snippets of that along the way. Honestly, can't remember what the last things were that I put on video, so I do apologize. But I think I showed when I started the blanket because I started it before she was born. So Sophie is a lot bigger than Lila. Lila is still really tiny. She'll be 2 in January. Sophie is almost as big as her sister. Sophie at 2 months was in 6 months clothing, so she's grown. So, I was going to make her, I had planned on making her a sleep sack for Christmas, but as big as she is, um, and she was at the time, I decided not to because I figured that whatever I'd make, she would probably outgrow it by the time either she got it or within a month or two of getting it. So what I did instead is I made her a hooded towel. Now, this is made out of a cotton Karen cake, which is not 100% cotton. It's a cotton and acrylic blend, but I figure it'll still soak up. It's more cotton than it is acrylic. I just don't remember exactly in the label. I don't have a label right here. So I'm sorry. Otherwise, I would give you more particulars, but I know a lot of people have used Karen. This is one that I had gotten from Ollie's a couple of years ago. I showed you guys. But so I made the towel. It's the first time I've ever made something on the dais where it goes up and you get to the how big you want it and then you go down. I decreased on it wrong, which I'm sure those of you who are veteran crocheters can tell because this came out as a diamond instead of a square. It's fine. It's still going to work for her. Honestly, the pattern I was working from, the directions were not that good. It was just do this, repeat, and even if you're repeating, instead of giving you the first full row, they would tell you to repeat after they gave you the instructions for the chains, skipping chains, and then doing it, and it would tell you just to repeat to the end. So it was an older pattern. Um, and I could figure it out. But when it came to the decreasing, evidently, I figured it out wrong. Then they said to do the same thing to make a washcloth, a matching washcloth. Well, I tried. I made 3 full washcloths. Did not like how they looked. I finally got one that was square, but I didn't like how the edging was. So the first day we were in the hospice with my mom, and we were sitting doing funeral arrangements, and the back and forth and back and forth of I want this, I want that. And I was highly stressed. As we all know, doing our craft can calm us down. I picked up the yarn that I took with me and I just started crocheting, and this is the washcloth that I came up with. I did half doubles and then I worked on the bias. Well, not on the bias, I worked in the third loop so that you get that. So there would be texture. And so you see that chain, it looks like a chain front on top. So yeah, I worked in the third loop for this one. So this is Sophie's gift. It had said on the hood to do the crab stitch down here and then single crochet it on around and then just do a single crochet around the rest. But I was like, I didn't want to put just the crab stitch here and not have it around the rest. I didn't think it looked finished correctly, so I did it around. But instead of doing the actual crab stitch, because I was just at that point in time, had found out about my mom going into hospice. I was crying a lot. I was just having a hard time working the regular crab stitch. I did the modified crab stitch that you can go and you work it forward. You do a single crochet and then you flip the crochet hook around, and then you go into the next and you do it. You start your single crochet and you twist it around. It's honestly so much easier. I learned it last year when I did that blanket for my niece and nephew that I gave them for Christmas. That's how that thing was done on there. Juniper and Oaks, not Juniper and Oaks, Cozy Rosie. That it was hers for some reason. I keep on thinking Juniper and Oaks, but it was Cozy Rosie. And I went back to that blanket and figured out how to do it again. So I put that all around on this. Now for baby Lila, I had in my head, I knew since last year what I wanted to do for her for Christmas. And I wanted to make her a baby robe. And who is it? Amelia makes a baby robe that she made her son when he was a baby. I believe it was her son. I think it was a boy. Anyway, she made it to go just under the diaper. So I modified it. I made it longer. I made it a little bit bigger so that it would be with Sophie for a little bit. Not Sophie. It would be with Lila for a little bit. And maybe even Sophie would be able to use it as she gets older. I ran out of the color I started with. I knew that I might run out of it after making the actual robe, and that I might have to add some trim to it to introduce a new color, so that I might have to make the tie out of it. Well, I ran out when I was making the arms. So I added the original colors, the tan. I added the black and ecru. This is Lion Brand yarn that they don't have anymore. It's thick size 5 yarn, twisted cotton, I think, but it's not the ones that came in the big cakes. It's the small cakes, and it was always a crew and a color or white. And I think they may have had some of them white and the color. I had gotten a lot of it in at Hobby Lobby when I went to their clearance sale, 3 years ago. So this was supposed to be made with a 4-weight. That was the first thing I changed. I wanted it in a 5-weight. I knew I wanted to use that yarn since I had so much of it that I didn't have enough of it in one color unless I did it in black and ecru. And I didn't want to make the whole thing black. Not for a little girl. I wish I would have had pink, but I didn't. And they didn't make it in pink. I had a little bit of the red, but not enough. So I had enough of the tan. And then, like I said, I added the black. And then I thought, oh, that would be cool. I have like maybe a color block arm, but then I decided I'd put it at the bottom on each of them. It makes me think of one of those sleeves when you see a sweater that has the patch, underneath, but instead the black is all the way down. I did trim then because it called for a trim. You can pull it back if you want to or whatever. It did call for a trim on the arm, so I trimmed it with the black. And it calls to crochet it on. Actually, it may call this sew the arm on now. I can't remember. I wanted to crochet it on, and instead of crocheting it on the inside, I decided to make it look, like one of those tops that looks a little bit more inside out. So I did the seaming on the outside for the arms, and then, of course, I made the tie in black. Now, I did add a little bit more, like I said, because I wanted it to grow with her a little bit. So I added on more so that it would overlap, and which they can pull this out so that it can overlap and then tie it if they want to, down here. They could actually pull it up through this one. Oh, you can't see it. They could pull like this one from down below up through this one if they wanted to and tie it here. Because I should have had one, I should have went just a little bit for longer and added one more opening. I did like how these openings were in the robe itself and you didn't make loops that might come off later. Because like one of them came out the way that I wanted it to, which was out of the top, but then this one came out of the bottom. But when I was trying to figure out when I had made it, I think I may retie it before I put it in the bag, which I'm getting ready to do because we're probably going to see them today. And my husband just woke up, which means I need to be getting ready for the day. Anyway, I may retie it so that it overlaps and then bring the belt up from the bottom. I had just thought of so that it can overlap and not have that weird, funky thing there like it's doing. Anyway, I will open it and you can see this is Lila's gift. I hope they like it. I had fun making them. So that's the point for me. I am trying to finish up my son-in-law's gift. Right now, I'm not going to go into particulars or anything, but he's in the hospital. So our Christmas Eve and Christmas has been postponed with them. So I have a little bit more time to work on those because I should have had it done, and I would have had it done on time. I was doing so well on my calendar, but with mom going into hospice, it just threw a wrench in everything. I could not work on this there, and I just realized that his one arm is a little bit longer than the other, but no biggie. But I put the arms on last night. I got to put the legs on. He's got actually fingers and then fingernails, and he has toes and toenails and stuff. So I need to get all of those on, and he has a flame that comes out of his tail. But I'm sure some of you might know. I can't think of his name right now. Where is it? He's a Pokemon. My daughter had given me, and I had shown you the pieces before. This is Charizard. He's a Pokemon dinosaur, and it's the first time I've ever made a dinosaur. So, and they're very intense. I honestly, personally think the best amigurumis that you make are the ones that you sew together. I did start making my daughter a Pikachu, but I only got like the first 10 rows of the head done. So if I have time, I'm going to finish that. If not, I'll give it to her for her birthday. I have other things I've gotten for her this year. That'll be her first Christmas without something handmade for me. I had wanted to do ornaments for people and stuff. I had put in an order at Annie's. They had a good sale. They had some $1.99 kits. And when I got my envelope, it was empty. So they had to resend it out. And I didn't get everything until 2 days ago. So, yeah, not enough time. I had gotten some cross stitch ornament kits to do because I also love to cross stitch, and they're wooden. So all you have is the area that you actually work, and that's stamped out, but it's bigger, so you still have to do, counted cross stitch, but it's not like a whole canvas that you're working on. It's a round wooden ornament. Like one of them looks like you're going to make a snowflake, but it is a granny square pattern that you put on it. But it doesn't have the whole area, just the grid. Here's the fingers I got to put on, the arms that I put on. I haven't made the toenails and all of that yet. I figured when I started saving these and I had a mess anytime I tried to open them, I'm like, I will make those as I go. And this is his wings that go on him. So, yeah, that's it for now. I don't have anything to show you. And I need to get going. I want to turn on my hot rollers and maybe get a little bit of something in my hair. It just lays so flat. If I have time, if not, no big deal. Everybody's used to seeing my hair like this. So it's just one of those days. Gotta get dressed and get going. Washed up just a little bit. And I just wanted to make this. I was going to make just a snippet where I showed you what I made, and I decided to go ahead and make a whole video so you guys could be surprised and have a video today. And it just so happens it's on my birthday as well. So have a great Christmas Eve, everybody, and a Merry Christmas. And for those of you who are experiencing loss and things like we are right now, my heart goes out to you, and you are all in my prayers. Every last one of you. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. I really do. And the best that you can for anybody else who may be grieving or experiencing any kind of loss. So, I love you guys. I will see you soon. Remember, you matter. And don't let anybody tell you differently. And I love you guys so, so much.